Hello guys, you're welcome back to my channel. It's your girl Scout Love by Love It. My name is Love It, and in this particular video I'll be showing you the difference between freehand cutting and pattern drafting. Okay, so we'll just explain some of those differences that might be a bit confusing in case you're wondering which one is the best and accurate one to go for first, or however you want to do it. Okay, so stick with me through the video. Please do not move. Just don't touch that dial. All right. Okay guys, you're welcome back again. Just as I say, the difference between freehand cutting and pattern making. Okay, first of all, we'll go straight to define freehand cutting. Freehand cutting is very easy. It's that particular drafting that you do direct on the fabric, on the final fabric. This particular dress I'm wearing, I'll say the material I drafted it directly. Any pattern you want to apply is being drafted directly on the final fabric. So that is what freehand is all about. Then pattern is that one, flat pattern making or pattern making is that one you have to draft on the paper, and then you have to retrace it onto another paper. Then you now take that paper to go on the final fabric and cut it there. Okay, or you can even try using the lesser fabric to do the experimental work first and do the fitting and be sure that the cloth is okay enough before you can now do and cut the final fabric. So that is just the difference between the two. Okay, so that is the definition. So now coming down to the difference, 11 differences that I want to give you guys about this particular tool, because you might be wondering, should I start? Probably you have a desire to learn fashion and design. You don't know if you should start with a freehand cutting style or you should go direct with a pattern. For one, I started with a pattern. But along the line, I realized that I should have started with a freehand. Why? Because I noticed that the freehand will give you a more wider range of what fashion is like and what human body is like. Okay, it will help you to study the human body faster. That is what I understood. Okay, there are some things I didn't understand in the pattern because I just kept following the processes. Do it like this, draft like this, and then it will come out like this. But then when I went to the freehand, I now discovered that there are some things I actually needed to actually understand on my own, so that when drafting, I will not be confused. Okay, so now going straight into this particular differences, 11 types. I want to show you what a flat pattern looks like. You already know what freehand means. It looks like, we all know it's on the fabric, they cut it, that one. Okay, now this is what a flat pattern or a pattern is like. Even those that do draping, they make use of this. Okay, they make use of this sometimes before they do whatever they want. So this is it. Okay, this is the back of this particular bodice, and this is the front of this particular bodice. This is a size 8 bodice, and I'm very sorry that is a bit not too clean. I don't know if you can see clearly. I had a little water issue around my pattern papers, and then after sun drying it came out like this. So I'm really I didn't have the time to create a new pattern first of all before making these videos, but I believe it's clear enough. You can actually see it. You can see this pattern, the method of the pattern. Okay, so number one of the 11 differences I'm giving you today is the freehand method of cutting is being cut directly on the fabric. Okay, it's being cut directly on your fabric. Why the pattern is being drafted on the paper, first of all, then you retrace it onto another paper. Is that paper that you will now use as your final paper, because you can't cut this one. If you cut this one, you end up messing up the work. You can't save this again. Okay, so that's why you don't cut this one. You have to retrace it. Then that one you retrace is the one you now use to do your cutting. Okay, yes, you'll be wondering how comes. Yeah, this is the main bodice. This is the main measurement of that person. So if you keep it, becomes durable at the end of the day. Okay, then secondly, individual measurements. If you are doing cutting directly on the fabric, you can take the measurement of the person, however the person is, however style and whatever, you just apply directly on the fabric and cut. But this particular pattern making, most times you end up using standard measurements. Okay, because I remember when I learned my own, there's this particular calculation we used to cut the neck, and some other parts. And I realized that after I finished sewing my bodies, after much practicals, I discovered that whenever I wear it, my neck will be a bit too tight for my liking, and I'll keep wondering, why is it like that? Is it that my neck is, I'm not getting the accurate measurement? I remeasured myself so many times until I decided to get creative on my own, and I said, okay, let me shape the neck down and see. And when I shaped it down, the thing came, everything balanced. You know, what I'm telling you is that when I wear the bodies, that time I just make normal short bodies, the whole thing would just go up like this. So when I now shaped the neck down, I realized that everything came and it came down balanced. So you see that little error there. So you there's the perfection is there, but then that idea of knowing the human body, knowing that everybody's measurement cannot work with the same standard, I don't know if you understand. So that is for the number 2. Then number 3, mass production. Okay, you can actually use the freehand when you want to produce for just one person like me. You want to design a nice clothes for me, you take my measurement, you customize it, whatever you want to do for me. Okay, and it will save your time. Okay, that one is not supposed to be now. But if you are going to for a mass production, if you are going for a mass production, you better go for this one. This one, so that after you finish drafting, like I told you, this is a size 8. This is a size 8 pattern. So after you finish drafting, you can easily store it. You can have size 8 for a particular style, size 10, size 14, size 12, size 14. You can easily go back to them and go and do your work and go and retrace and cut the same style over and over again. Okay, that's why it's good for mass production. Okay, so once you finish getting the actual style and design you want, all you need to do is place it on the fabric and cut as much as you want to cut, because you end up getting the same thing, unlike the other one that's good for one person. Okay, and then the fourth one is no need of test fit. No need of test fitting. Like, in other words, I'll say fitting. In this particular one, for instance, if I sew for you, your dress is going to be on your fabric. The only time I can come and call you, like we can do fitting in freehand, is maybe if you're about to fix your zip, or a bit conclusion on the concluding side, you can now invite the person, please come and check your clothes. And once the person fits it, and imagine it's not so many areas, there are lots of errors, you have to start losing it again. You understand why this particular pattern one, there is a good test fitting, because you can actually cut it on a lesser fabric, okay, and even make the clothes on the lesser fabric, or you can use stitches to do it. Then you can invite the person to test it first, and after the testing is okay, then you now know exactly what you will do next. So it means that when you finish that, you will do exactly what you have tested on the person on the lesser fabric or on the original fabric, and it will end up coming out perfect. Okay, so that is for number 4. Then number 5, you can actually style it. You can style freehand anyhow you want to style it. Okay, you can get creative over it. Okay, you can add stitches. You see some clothes, you will see a lot of lines, stitch, some of those things. Freehand cutting helps a lot to get more creative like that. Okay, why the pattern method, you might not want to see yourself doing a lot, because you might complicate the work you have done. Okay, the pattern, drafting, the method, the joining, you need it to come out neat and perfect just the way you wanted it. Okay, so unless you really have that knowledge on how to get creative about using the pattern, then you can now do excess stitches or style anyhow. So everything is all about experience, okay, and how creative you are. So number 6, grading. Grading is very possible. In freehand, grading is not possible, but in pattern drafting, grading is very possible, because you can grade it size 8, size 10, size 12, size 14, size, any size you want, you can grade it. While in freehand, if you do one is one. If you are making for a size 14, that is it. You can't go and take a size 14 clothes you already finished drafting in freehand and go and start reshaping it again to size. You can only do it with the pattern. Okay, so that is why the grading works very well for the pattern and it doesn't work for the freehand. And then number 7, less time consumption. Yes, less time consumption for the freehand if only you are producing one material. If you only are you are sewing one cloth, like you are sewing for me alone, okay, that's when it will be less time consuming, because you are directing it straight on the fabric. But if you are actually going to be making mass production, it means that the freehand is more time consumption, more time consuming. I don't know if you understand. So it means that if you are going to be making for 10 persons in particular, you have to be recording their styles over and over, all their patterns and their styles. You have to do it over and over and over, which is highly time consuming. Okay, but if it's with a pattern, you just draft it. You can take the measurement of the 10 persons, draft it 1 2 3 4 5, go straight and do direct cut, and you are good to go. Okay, now that freehand is time consuming when it is for plenty fabric, for plenty styles, or maybe mass production or something, you understand. But if it is one person kind of production, is less time consuming. Okay, if you have 10 different sizes, maybe let's say Ashebi, okay, let's say Ashebi girls, 6 or 5 of them, freehand can go. You can use freehand to do the cutting there, because these people come with different, everybody with their different shapes and sizes. But if you know you want to produce for a size 8 or maybe size 10, and they are 20 in number, size 10, size 10, size 10, and then you now start using freehand, you want to kill yourself. Okay, so that's where this pattern comes in. It goes a long way. So once you have one size 10, it's forever like that, the same style. You can always go back to it and use it. So this one is more time consuming when you're producing for one person, because you end up using this pattern. If you have 6 Ashebi, like I told you in the freehand, you will now draft for one person, draft the second one, which means more cost though, because you have to charge them for the papers you're using, your time and everything. You will charge even more. Okay, yes, but that one is another number anyway. Okay, so number 8, durability. We have talked about durability already. This one is durable because after you finish this, you can easily store it again for another time. So if you have a customer, you are the type that use freehand and pattern always to draft, you always keep that measurement for your customer. But if you are using freehand, there is no durability there, and you might end up making mistakes in your next cutting. Yes, you might end up making mistakes. Yes, you might have called this one perfect. You are human, you are not God. So you might end up making mistake in your next cutting. So that's why this one is very nice, because the moment you have okay, so that is durability. And on to number 9, alterations are easy in freehand drafting. Okay, if you are doing the freehand drafting method, the freehand cutting method, alterations are very easy, because like I told you, they are definitely going to add enough seam allowances for you. Okay, they will add enough seam allowance, and you can easily adjust it, or no, you can easily expand it if the person increases in size. So that's where you can easily alterate. But this one, there's no seam allowance much. The seam allowances are usually either half inch or maybe highest 1 inch. So there is no much space to adjust anything for you there. So alterations are not really easy. And then even if you have to start doing it, it might cost more, because you might start doing some drafting or however whoever wants to alterate it wants to do it. Okay, that's for number 9. The number 8, freehand is cheaper, which we all know. When you go, you'll be hearing someone bring 1,500 to sew, bring 2,000, bring 3,000, because it's faster and all that in it. Okay, but this one might be more accurate to an extent, and then save durability and then all that blah blah blah, but then is not as cheap as a freehand. Because definitely, you imagine yourself a fashion designer, after you go through the stress of drafting this, then retracing it, and then taking the paper to go and cut on the final fabric and join it, is not going to be an easy work at all. Trust me. So that's for number 10. Then number 11, I don't know, have you gotten to 11 already? Freehand manages fabric. Yes, because in freehand making, you can easily manage fabric. Yes, you can decide to fold the fabric. I've not really taken my time to do. I'm going to release a video on how to cut bodies, and I'm sure you have seen a lot already how they do these things. Unless that tailor that is a freehand tailor doesn't know how to manage fabric. But if he or she knows how to manage fabric, trust me, the freehand, you work with your calculations already, so you know what you want to fold, to cut. So it manages fabric more than this one. It manages more than this one. And then to an extent, I like to say that from my own experience, the pattern can also manage fabric if you know how to manage fabric with it. Okay, because when I learned the pattern, and after you finish drafting and everything, then you retrace it into the next paper and then you place the fabric. It's similar thing. It's similar. You just have to fold the right amount you need to cut. So in fact, I think in this particular aspect, the freehand and the pattern. Okay, I hope I'm not trying to confuse you. Okay, let's reason. Let's just reason this thing. To an extent, they are both similar, because if anybody is going to be wasting fabric, it means that that person is not taking into our time to do calculations. There are people that will tell you that I don't have that kind of time, so they just want to go ahead and cut whatever, however, so they even prefer you to bring enough fabric. Okay, but the truth is, if you do your calculations very well, you notice that even the pattern saves fabric. In fact, I think for me, I would say the pattern even saves more fabric. Okay, it saves more fabric because you already have what you want here, so all you have to do is place it on the fabric and just know the right way you fold this fabric. Okay, you know what, I just think I like the pattern's way of saving fabric even more than the freehand, but at the end of the day, both of them are still very good. So it means that our number 11 have more similarities. Okay, so that is it for the 11 differences between freehand and pattern. Okay, and also don't forget that individual styles applied on freehand. You can apply whatever style, you can customize whatever you want to do, any kind of style you want to do in your freehand. But the pattern, you can easily do the same thing. Okay, you can actually do the same thing if you are creative enough. You will know how to manipulate the papers into whatever you want to do. Okay, so that is just a little addition. So there are more other differences, okay, that might not have added it. Okay, and then you know about it. You can comment under the comment section and tell me about it, that this is it, I know this, I know that. Or you feel like I don't really agree on this aspect. It's fine, okay, but you see that particular number 11, I kind of, me myself, I'm not agreeing on that one, though I've heard people argue that. Okay, so guys, that's all for this particular video. I'm sure you got what you needed, the difference you need. And my little advice to you is, please, if you want to start, you can try starting with the freehand. Okay, the freehand will give you a more better understanding of the human body, faster, more than the pattern. Okay, but like I say, it all depends on the individual. Some people are still started with the pattern and they still got what they needed. Okay, so it's all your choice. Okay, but then at the end of the day, in my fashion school, I remembered our teacher telling us that if you finish learning this pattern, try and get a freehand experience. That will expose you. So it means that even if you want a pattern first, remember to also get a freehand experience. And if you know you are still looking at me and you're not hitting the subscribe button, do you want me to buy you rice and beans? So please, I know you have enjoyed this particular video and I've talked a lot, and please, the only good encouragement you can do for me right now is to hit the subscribe button, is to like, comment, and tell me what you think, and share it to your friends, to family, anybody you want to share, you can share. Okay, so you can actually go ahead and share as much as you want to share and like, and then please hit the subscribe button and don't forget to hit the notification bell so that whenever there's a new video, you can easily get updates. Yes, because that's the only way we keep learning together. All right, there are more differences, like I said. I might not have touched all of them, but in case you have your own difference, you can add it on the comment section below. In case I would have said let me make video on the similarities, but I believe with these differences we can easily figure out the similarities by ourselves. Okay, so stay tuned to my next video. We are going to be showing you how to fix a sleeve. Okay, how to attach sleeve the very easy way, very easy way that you haven't seen before. And don't forget to check out my other videos. Please take your time to go through my other videos. You might see something very interesting. Check out my Ankara style collections, check out the sewing tutorials, sewing tricks, and all that. I know you're definitely going to see something that interests you, and don't forget to come back for more. Okay, and wait patiently for my next video, how to fix a sleeve. All right guys, see you in my next video. Bye bye. Stay safe.